guys, and welcome to Flashback. Week 3 of the EU LCS seemed to go faster than ever, with teams finally finding their way through the new meta. Let's take a look at what happened. The Week 3 action got started with a matchup between Roccat and Giants Gaming. After a surprisingly slow early game, big fights started to break out and were being decided by razor-thin margins.
And it is an absolute bloodbath in the mid. A one-for-one trade, but we're not done yet. Ruin takes down North Garen. Betsy goes in for the second win, but wishes he didn't.
With the game hanging in the balance, Giants went all in on a risky Baron attempt. And even though Steelback secured Baron and fought valiantly to the bitter end,
Steelback, last man standing. What can he do? That's one. Let's go. Oh, Steelback. He's got it, but he can't take down Memento.
When the dust settled, it was Memento and Roccat who emerged with blinking health bars to take the game-deciding fight and a hard-fought win. After that, Schalke 04 was looking for an upset against Misfits, while Shox was busy looking for the best seat in the house. It was smooth sailing for Misfits all game long as they left Schalke in the dust every single fight to tack on another win to their perfect 5-0 start.
The Senkux KDA is going to get destroyed, but it doesn't matter. These guys are just having some fun, and Ender, well, they're ending this game.
One team was finally going to emerge victorious and grab their first win of the split when Splyce faced off against H2K. Splyce played the early game calm and collected as they slowly built up a lead.
Whoa! Goodbye, Promiscu!
H2K knew that they had to make a move or it'd be game over, so they started up the Baron to try and turn their fortunes around. But it all ended in disaster as Xerxes stole away the Baron and Splyce cleaned house for an ace that devastated H2K.
The Rage Blade is stacking and the Titanic Hydra is tearing apart H2K. On the backside, Niski gets all the kills. Promiscu and Selfie are running for their lives.
With their base in shambles, H2K went for one more desperate Baron attempt, but Splyce called their bluff and blew them off the rift for their first win of the split.
Just ripped through H2K once again. They have all 5 members alive, the TPs are coming through, and the game win is in their eyes.
Vitality was looking to get back on track against Unicorns of Love, who were coming fresh off their first 2-0 week of the split.
Cold! That gets dunked! Jacktroll takes him out.
It was full speed ahead for Vitality right from the start as they flipped the hyperdrive switch on.
That's a flash up for him from Jizuke. Knocks in Guillotine. 1, 2, dunk, dunk, dunk.
Blasted the Unicorns and easily rocketed their way to an emphatic bounce-back win. To cap off day 1, we had the most hype match of the week ever in a Spring Split Finals rematch between Fnatic and G2 Esports. The last 5 times these teams met, Fnatic took the win, and the winner of this match would claim ultimate bragging rights. It was a clash of playstyles as G2 opted for their tried and true Perks funnel strat, while Fnatic opted to a more standard 8.12 composition that featured tons of damage and teamfight potential. Despite jumping out to an early advantage with proactive jungle play from Broxa,
A hookshot comes in. First blood, Fnatic.
Fnatic simply couldn't find an answer to G2's perfectly executed funnel strat that paid dividends early and often as G2 took full control over the game.
Call of the Forge Guard, and it's sent way the wrong way. It may not matter though. G2 in a better position with a numbers advantage, and they've got themselves a Super Xayah.
Even Blink, Perks and company flawlessly closed out the game in the 24th minute, asserting themselves as one of the top teams in Europe and joining Misfits to the tip top of the EU LCS table with a perfect 5-0 record.
Yet another kill to Perks. He's legendary. 9, 0, and 2.
After a full day of battling it out, the teams headed home to get some rest, recuperate, and prep themselves on the keys to victory for the Day 2 matchups. We kicked off Saturday with H2K looking for their first win against Misfits. But like the 5 teams that came before them, H2K were wiped clean off the rift by Misfits, whose combination of aggression in the early game and airtight shot calling in the mid
forward hits onto Shot, puts him in the box and says, "That's your place."
led to yet another stomp as Misfits picked up the easy win to bring their record to a spotless 6-0.
He chases in, there's the last breath, and Shook has to flash, but Maxthor manages to get the kill on the backline. Misfits cleaning house in the H2K base.
After that, it was Vitality looking to secure a perfect weekend against Schalke 04. Vitality got the party started early, and once Jizuke channeled his Spring Split form to make a sick 1v2 outplay, all bets were off.
cannot get away from G2K. The Italian stallion is back in action.
After that, Vitality put the pedal to the metal, taking huge fights, huge objectives, and a convincing victory to help them bounce back from a lackluster second week. Fnatic were looking to answer for their disastrous defeat against G2 as they took on Giants Gaming. And answer they did.
Ignite, ticking, the eye, Fnatic. Let him breathe, man.
Caps was locked in from minute 1, and he put on a brilliant show of dazzling mechanical prowess that could make just about anyone duck and run for cover. If they weren't already dead.
Make it stop! Caps is an absolute madman.
Luckily for Giants, the game was over in a flash as Fnatic decisively closed out the game for the fastest win of the split and reminded their critics that their legacy won't be defined by one loss. Splyce was looking for a second win as they squared off against Roccat. They struck early and often to put Roccat onto the back foot.
Hasn't thrown down the ultimate for himself, a little bit late. He could have saved the teammate. That's not at all what he wanted. TP comes in. Bye-bye to Memento. Clean play from Splyce.
Yet even though they were down, masterful macro play stretched Splyce thin and got Roccat back onto an even playing field. But just when it looked like Roccat was about to hop into the driver's seat with a Baron take, a massive wombo combo swung the momentum instantly back into Splyce's favor.
TCC! That's the wombo! Oh my god, Memento dies before he can use the ult. That is disaster for Roccat.
From there, Splyce diced up Roccat, and Kabe even scored some Ezreal style points.
Oh, he got all 4! That is the dirtiest shit I have seen in years! Absolutely shutting them down.
On the way to a victory that earned Splyce their first perfect weekend of the Summer Split. To wrap up Week 3, only the Unicorns of Love stood between G2 and the top of the standings.
Pulls it right back. Oh, that's a solid start for the Unicorns.
The Unicorns weren't in the way for very long, and even though G2 didn't opt into another funneling strat, they didn't miss a beat as Hjarnan stunned and gunned.
What?
His way to a huge Heimerdinger performance that proved G2 ain't afraid of a little experimentation. And now, we'll be taking a break from the action in Europe to head on over to Los Angeles for Rift Rivals. Make sure to cheer on Fnatic, G2, and Splyce as they smash some noobs and show everyone that EU is better than NA. The action begins on July 5th, and we'll be back in Berlin with EU LCS on July 13th, so we'll see you then.